Hey, what's up? It's Buddy from Senses Fail, and I'm going to tell you about our song, My Fear of an Unlived Life. It's the last song on the record. It is a large fear of mine. I think that while I've lived a really full life, it's never necessarily felt full because I didn't actually allow myself to be present for it, because I had a lot of difficulty with doing that, because being present would mean I'd also have to contend with all of the other things that are there. And I think I'd always been afraid of that, because I'd always known that I was missing out on life because all these amazing things were happening, but I couldn't actually be there for them because I was too afraid of what would come up. And that's what I mean about my fear of an unlived life. I don't necessarily mean like going and doing and experiencing and having success. I mean that's all part of a full life, but that's not what I'm talking about, and that doesn't necessarily even define to me what a full life is. I mean, I think a full life is being there for everything. The good, the bad, the awful, the beautiful, the death, the birth. I mean, the complexity of life is this, and I think a lot of times I've wanted to make it this because it felt more manageable. And ultimately, trying to manage something that's unmanageable creates a lot of stress. So, God, this song has been around since the beginning of writing of this record. I wrote the riff just sort of alone at my house, and actually where I'm sitting right now. And when I took it to practice, Zach just sort of flowed. It just all worked out. The idea was to do this like long, drawn out sort of Jimmy Eat World type song, like a song, what song is it on? Clarity. A song on Clarity. I'm forgetting the name, but just this long, beautiful, emotional ride that Jimmy Eat World always took me on, and I really wanted to do something like that, with, of course, a little bit more aggression thrown in there, and I think it just really puts a nice cap on the record with really what it seems to be the point that I'm trying to drive home, is that this love that we have, that we can give, that we can share, is really one of the most important gifts, and ultimately the only thing that we get to leave in this world after we die is our actions. Can't take anything else with us. We can spend our whole life accumulating stuff, and all of it's going to end up somewhere else. The only thing that will define us forever are our actions. Are the actions. If the actions are from a loving place, I mean, those are going to have long, long, long lasting, beautiful repercussions. And if they're not from a place of that, they're going to have long, long, long lasting, terrible repercussions. So really supposed to put in perspective sort of, at times I have this very existential view of life. I mean, we're on a rock spinning around in space, with no foreseeable end. In fact, space is growing at an infinite rate. I mean, what's the fucking point? That was always my issue with a lot of religions. What's the point? What is the point? How does that explain this predicament that I'm in right now? And this, to me, this idea of sort of karma, this idea that the only thing we get to take with us in death is our actions, is the meaning to me, is something that provides meaning to my life, which is really, I think, an important thing for us to find what that meaning is. And one of the meanings to be alive for me is to try to leave things that ultimately create a cycle of good things. You know, and it's also, this song is just about how fragile this life is. I mean, anybody who's ever had someone die, I mean, which is all of us, know how fragile it is, how it changes, how it's 1 minute you're here, 1 minute you're gone, 1 minute you're sick, 1 minute you're not. And how we don't have control over that. And how do we live in a world where that's the reality? I mean, that's really what I talk about in the end, where it's like we are all longing for connection. We are all longing for acceptance. There's nothing that shows more strength than meeting pain with compassion, because we all have wounded hearts. We are all just as blind in the dark. And we all quiver in fear when the ones we love disappear, because this is our shared experience. And what we do with that shared experience is going to dictate other people's lives. And I think when we look at life through that lens, it maybe makes it a little bit more meaningful. At least it does for me. And you know, musically, this song, it gives me chills every time I listen to it. It's just like a perfect mixture of the lyrics being very meaningful and heavy, but the music matching it at each turn. Like just a perfect marriage of really the welling up of the music at the same time of the lyrics. And I think it's just an awesome way to end the record, just on this very, very last couple lines of the love they gave us, it stays here, and the love they showed us, it stays here. So just that reflection on the people that loved us and are gone, their effect is being felt. And that's what, you know, that's really what I wanted to end the record with, was what is the point? What is the point? What is the point of loving? What is the point of living? And for me, I find a level of safety in this belief that, you know, maybe I can love someone, and when I'm gone, that'll stay here. And that I'd rather it be love than it be hate or aggression. And we're all going through this experience together. And man, you know, I'm afraid if I don't live up to it. And that's sort of my fear of an unlived life. It's this fear, but it's this acceptance. And that is the record, Pull the Thorns from Your Heart. And that is my fear of an unlived life.